Indiana in the Morning, presented, as always, by First Commonwealth Bank here on WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. And it is such a privilege to be able to talk once again with one of my favorite guests, Pat Williams. You were on with us a few years ago talking about another book that you had written. It's good to talk with you again about this one, Coach Wooden's Forgotten Teams. Pat, good morning.
Good morning to you, Todd, and thanks for the call. It's nice to catch up with you.
Hey, Coach Wooden's Forgotten Teams, stories and lessons from John Wooden's summer basketball camps. Those are the forgotten teams, but they're pretty unforgettable to you from reading in the book. My goodness.
Well, Todd, I have written, 4 books now about Coach Wooden. His career is pretty well chronicled. However, there was one aspect that really had not been covered, and those were the summer camps that he ran for many, many years in the L.A. area, touching thousands of youngsters. I just thought it would be fascinating if we could find some of those old campers and some of the people who ran those camps and see what memories they had, see how they remembered Coach Wooden back in those days, what it was like. And sure enough, we got to a whole bunch of them, Todd, and their stories were very, very interesting and very intriguing to get a whole different view of Coach Wooden in the summertime working in those camps. It was quite a task, but we got it done.
I would guess that as you talk to one person, they'd say, you think my story's great, go talk to that guy over there and that gal over there, and it would build upon each other, wouldn't it?
Well, we did. We got a lot of people who said, have you talked to so-and-so? Make sure you talk to him, and we did that. We followed up on a lot of that. And basically, their stories were kind of similar. For example, Coach Wooden didn't just lend his name to these camps. He was deeply involved. He was there every day. He organized every day. He worked with the young coaches on the floor to make sure that they were covering everything that he wanted done. He was engaged with the young people who are now, they're probably in their 50s and 60s,
yeah,
or older, and their memories are very vivid about their time with Coach Wooden in those summer camps. That was fascinating to us. He left a deep imprint on them because he was there for them. He didn't just lend his name.
I think one of the interesting aspects of it is that the kids you're talking kids who are, 8 years old, 9 years old, all the way up to maybe 15. And the lessons that they learned in these summer camps from Coach Wooden weren't just basketball lessons, and they weren't geared as much to little kids as to people who could take these lessons with them for the rest of their lives and apply them to any aspect of their lives.
Well, Todd, that's a good point. John Wooden was more than a coach. In fact, he didn't use that term. He was a teacher. Yes, he knew how to teach basketball, knew how to teach the fundamentals of the game. But what he really taught beautifully was life. And he was helping to prepare these youngsters for their future. He knew, for example, he knew that most of them were not going to go on and have great success as basketball players. But he wanted to impart his wisdom. And that's what he had in abundance, wisdom. Boy, it's a great quality. And if you can find a man or a woman with that quality of wisdom, you want to hang with them.
Yeah.
And that's why Coach Wooden enjoyed mentoring so much. He enjoyed passing on the wisdom that he had accumulated through his years here on Earth, and he was a great, great teacher, and that's what so many of these people remembered.
Pat Williams is with us. He and his co-author, John Denny, have written Coach Wooden's Forgotten Teams, Stories and Lessons from John Wooden's Summer Basketball Camps. And Pat, as you consider a book like this, there are, that you impart, 6 fundamental life lessons that you tell us about. Were these things that you knew were things he taught at the camps, or as you talked to them, the thoughts began to formulate in you, and you were able to zero in on those 6 life lessons?
I think they began to emerge as you began to talk to all these people. There were some common traits. For example, Coach Wooden was a stickler for preparation. He never wanted to just say, "Oh, we'll wing it." Not at all. I mean, with his UCLA teams and everything he did, he was thoroughly prepared. Good lesson.
Yeah.
A second thought. He was a lifelong teacher. And, Todd, we all are. With our children or grandchildren, people at work, we're constantly teaching, and Coach Wooden took that very seriously. Here's another thought. One of the people at the camp involved said to me, Coach Wooden didn't treat people good. He treated them great. That's what he said. Now, there's a good lesson for people today.
Yeah.
As you plow into this day, don't treat people good. Treat them great.
Absolutely.
Everybody. That was a good insight into John Wooden. I think about that one frequently. And my favorite John Wooden quote of all time, Todd, make each day your masterpiece.
Oh, yeah.
Make each day your masterpiece. So as each day starts, really focus on making it a masterpiece day.
Absolutely.
And then do the same thing tomorrow.
I love the story about Bill Walton when he first got to UCLA, and before the first practice, Coach Wooden had the guys learn how to tie their shoes. And you would think, what? Yeah, there were certain ways he wanted them to tie their shoes, because late in the game, a shoe comes untied, a layup is missed, the game is lost. And Coach Wooden was that detail-oriented with his guys, and that's a lesson to them as well. Pay attention to the small stuff, because it can affect the big things and the big picture outcome.
Todd, I feel very blessed that John Wooden let me into his life. He lived till 99, so this would have been, I don't know, maybe in his mid-80s or so. But we would take him out to dinner, and one night at dinner I leaned over and I said, Coach, you've been on this earth a long time. Have you discovered your secret to life? Is there a secret to success? And he said, the closest I could come to a secret of success would be a lot of little things done well. And he was a stickler for little things. And yes, that story of his that is true. He taught his players on the first day of practice, and he did the same with his campers, how to put your socks on right without any wrinkles in them, because they could create blisters.
Yeah.
And how to get the shoe put on right, and above all, how to double knot it. Because a shoe flying off in the middle of the game was going to cause all sorts of problems. You didn't want that. So he focused really intently on taking care of the little things in life. That, again, is a good principle for all of us.
Pat Williams with us. Coach Wooden's Forgotten Teams, Stories and Lessons from John Wooden Summer Basketball Camps, the name of the book. Go pick it up. It's going to be something that you can share with your kids and just enjoy over and over and learn from. Pat, as you come into a Final Four weekend, John Wooden has to come to mind when you're thinking about the NCAA Final Four, doesn't it?
Well, there's no question. Keep in mind, Todd, UCLA during that era won 10 championships in 12 years, including 7 in a row. You talk about records that'll never be broken.
Oh, yeah.
The success that Coach Wooden had, that's why we remember him today. However, as you dig deeper, there was so much more to John Wooden than just those championships. The way he lived his life and the way he shared his life with others, the way he wrote and recorded and kept for all of us his outlook on life. Absolutely. So much to take from the man, and that's why I thought it was important to get a really thorough look at this area, his summer camps that up till now have kind of been undiscussed. But I think we really pulled the curtain back, and we got a very, very nice look at this man in the summertime.
It's tremendous. Pat, thank you so much for being with us. We could do this for a couple of hours, you know.
God, a million thanks. So nice of you to visit, and I hope people enjoy the book. Go up to Amazon, good way to order books, and it's in bookstores as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Have a wonderful day today.
You too, Todd. Make each day your masterpiece. How about that?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
There's
Bye.
Pat Williams with us here this morning on Indiana in the Morning on 101.1 FM, AM 1160.